Okay, welcome back. So today in the workshop we're getting ready to do some painting. So these are the panels that we fixed the last workshop video. So at the moment they're all in high build primer. So what we're going to do now, we're going to spray a guide coat over them, which is like a dust coating. And the idea of that is so when you sand the panel back, you can go, all the coating will disappear. So then you know the panel is 100% smooth. Also, it's good to find out if you've got any high spots or low spots, if you need to put any more filler in there. But I don't think we do need to do that on the one we repaired. The brand new one, so this is a brand new panel, there isn't going to be any problems with that because the mold is 100% perfect. So it's just on this one. So if we see any on this part here where we did the repair, so if we see any high spots or low spots in that, we can actually fix that now. And then, but I don't think we're going to get a problem with it. I think when we did the repair, it was really good. So let's spray some guide coat onto this now, and then we can start wet sanding all the panels. Okay, so the guide coat is literally an aerosol can, and all you're doing is putting a dust coat all over the panel. And that's all a guide coat is. It's a guide to know when you've got the panel back flat. So you do that all the way over the panel, all the way over. And it's as simple as that. And so we got some 800 grit sandpaper. So this is wet and dry. Put water on it, 3M block, and we're just going to sand it now until it all. You can see it. You can see what it's doing already. So where the black is, we're sanding the black away until we just get down to the grey. So you just go round and round until it's all nice and smooth. And then what you do then is you just take the block away, give it a quick squeegee. So now you can see that panel is 100% flat. So we have to do this all the way over. You have to be a little bit more careful on the edges, and especially like around where the light would be, you have to do that bit by hand. Okay, so I've just finished one panel, so that's what it looks like now. Now, if you want to compare it to the other panel that's still got the guide coat on it, now you can see the difference now. So once you sand it flat, all the black disappears and you just end up with the clean panel. So we know that is 100% flat and 100% smooth. There's no rough bits on it. Now, when I'm sanding it, you have to be really careful on the edges. But on this, because I actually put there's two different types of primer on it. So there's an etch primer, which is, this hasn't got the tie build on it yet. So that's the colour of the etch primer. So that has still got protection in it. And the idea of the etch primer, it gives a good adhesion to the fiberglass that's underneath. So on the edges, when you're sanding it, you have to go really quite close, go careful with it. Because if you see here, if I put my finger down there, you can see where the etch primer is coming back through. Now it's still alright to overpaint that. The only thing you have to bear in mind, if you're doing something like a red colour, that will show up in a red. It won't show up in green. Red is red really shows up if you've got any imperfections in the panels at all. So if you've actually gone through at all, if you're spraying red paint onto a panel, you're going to have to do a spot prime again to make it all the same base coat colour. Red's the worst colour for that. It's quite often if you see a car that's been done like it, you can actually see like a black shadow in it. But yeah, we're all right with green, so we can go with that. Okay, so all the panels are now sanded, so they're all back nice and flat. So the first thing we got to do is on the backs now, is we actually got to paint a black line around the edge of the light. So we do that, so we actually paint the back lights on, they're not a sticker. So we put a black edge around first, then we mask that up, then we spray the red and we mask that up. So let's do that now. Okay, so we've painted the black line around it. Now what we do the black line is we end up going around with a 6mm fine lining tape. But as you noticed, I've actually oversprayed everywhere. Well, that is for two reasons. One, it's a lot quicker doing it this way, but also, remember what I said about having black coming through or a different colour when you're putting red on it? So this will actually give it like a 3D effect. So it'd actually make the light look like it's actually got more to it than it is. So by putting that black edge around it and then masking up the 6mm, you will see a different colour when we put the red on. So that's why we do that. Okay, so now we've masked up a 6mm line all the way around. So now we've got to mask up the rest of it now, so then we can spray the red. Okay, so there it is, all masked up. All we have to do now is start to apply the metallic red. So you're doing this in loads of light colour. So we're trying to get it like a 3D effect. You can see where the black is around the edge, it's a lot darker. Well, it's quite hard to film and spray at the same time, because I'm actually trying to look. So that's fairly good now, so it actually starts to look like a light. You can see where it's got the darker edge around it, like it would if it'd be a normal light. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this one by looking at the camera. Oh, I've got this one a bit heavy. But that's the sort of effect I'm after. So you're seeing it's dark around the edges. And that's filling that little bit in of it. Yeah, I think that's fairly good. Let's compare it to the other one. I just need to make this one a little bit darker. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah, so they're all done. So as you can see, when you get it on the edge, you can actually see it's darker at the edge. That's the effect I wanted. Okay, so it's all demasked. So now what we're going to do next, we're going to mask up the whole of the light area. And then Scotch-Brite round the edge where the black line is to take that away nearly completely, and then we're ready to spray on the custom green metallic paint for what makes Swamp Thing Swamp Thing. So we're going to paint this one, going to paint the other bedside and also the tailgate, and then after that, once all that's done, we're going to get another cab down from up off the shelf and we're going to spray that as well. Okay, so we've got Swamp Thing out the trailer. I didn't video it, but we've cleaned it, so it's all looking nice and shiny now. Just got to do a little bit on the work on the Lexan there. We have to wash that, do that bit by hand just to get the little watermarks off of it. So yeah, so it's all nice and clean. Even jet washed all the tyres. That takes a while. They weren't that dirty. I just wanted, because the next show we're doing is the UK Monster Truck Nationals at Santa Pod, one of my favourite shows of the year. It's great. It's a monster truck show, not a show with a monster truck at it. It makes a lot of difference. So we got that one coming up. So we're going through the trucks. As you can see, just done our Lucas oil change, so that's done. Also, last time I was out, I was noticing, I think the batteries are starting to go on Swamp Thing. So we use an Optima battery, which is a gel type battery. So I've got 2 new batteries in the boxes, so that's where the monster truck batteries are there. So I've got one this side and there's another one on the other side of it. Then it's not 24 volts, it's 12 volts, so they're in parallel with each other, so they're not in series. So yeah, so the monster truck is 12 volts. Some people are asking how many volts it is, because it's got because of that engine so high compression, we actually run a special starter motor for it, so it's actually got gear reduction on it to make it start the monster truck. So yeah, so we're going to take the batteries off in a minute. So the thing with twin batteries, you have to be really careful with. So if you disconnect the earth on the battery off on the main chassis one, if you actually touch anything else onto the chassis, the other one is still connected. So if you drop the live onto it, you still can get a spark. So you have to take both earths off before you start taking off the battery. So let's do that now. Okay, so the battery's out. So as you can see on there, you got the blue glove that's protecting the positive terminals on the cables. Now on the other battery on the other side, you can just see there the red top of the other battery. So that one has got the earth removed on it, but I just like to play doubly safe to make sure there's no any loose sparks. So there's the battery that's come out. I think it's got one bad cell on it. So as you can see these are the cells of the battery. So there's 6 cells in total on there. One of them's bad. The battery never goes fully charged. So got the new one in the box. There's so much packaging that comes with these when they come through the post. But the courier takes a really good care of them. So we'll get this battery back in. Also on the batteries, on the top of the batteries, where have I put it? Oh, it's here. We have pieces of Lexan that go over the tops of the batteries. So if any bits of car or any bit debris gets in there, it can't short out the battery terminals. So let's get this battery installed and get Swamp Thing running sweet again. Batteries in, so they're quite tight to get the batteries out. This side's actually a lot easier than the other side. But yeah, so they got the Lexan on the top of them to stop these terminals getting any bits of car or anything dropping on there, especially if you're working on the truck and you drop a spanner. You don't want to drop a spanner over those terminals. These are really high output batteries. Also with the batteries on the monster truck, so there's the ones that's come off. They're a gel battery, so of course normally on a car battery it's a lead acid battery. So if you roll a car over, if it's a lead acid battery, there'd be acid in there and the acid would come out. These are a gel battery, so they're a seal battery, so you can even mount them in the truck if you wanted to. You can mount them on their sides. And also some of them you can actually have an option where you've got different terminals that come off of here. So yeah, so these are the type of batteries you have to have in a monster truck. So you can't use a normal car battery in a monster truck. Okay, so we're starting to get it to go green now. So we've got the first dust coat on. Now this green doesn't cover very well. And also if you put it on too heavy, it gets really bad fish eyes. So the first few coats we just put on as a nice dusting of a coat, just to try and get it a build up a level. And then once it's got to a level, we can actually start putting the paint on properly. Now to get this green on properly, it takes about between 6 to 8 coats. So yeah, we've got a lot more coats to put on yet. Okay, so it's going really well at the moment. So yeah, we're about halfway through. So we've got 4 coats of base coat on there. Now in between each coat of base coat, you have to let it flash off. Flash off is letting the solvents come out of the paint surface. So if you put too much on in one go, you can actually seal the solvent in there, and what happens then is you get little blisters come through the paint. So yeah, we leave it 10 minutes in between each coat. So we got probably about another hour of putting the base coat on, and then we can get on with some lacquer. So the lacquer is the final bit. So when we do the lacquer, we'll be taking all the masking tape off all around the light, so you can actually see what that looks like as well. So yes, we've got about another hour before we can put some lacquer on. Okay, so that's the 8th coat on, and now I've demasked around where the light is. So yeah, so that has 8 coats of base coat to get the right colour of green that we're after. So that's that one done. The bed tailgate's done, and of course the other bed side as well, that's done as well. So the next step is to apply the lacquer. Now I'm only probably going to put on 3 coats of lacquer. It's going to be an off the gun finish, so we're not going to be flattening it and colour sanding it. It's a monster truck, they do get smashed up. But yeah, I'm going to get a really good finish with this. Yeah, so let's put some lacquer on now. So that's it, all the coats of lacquer on. So going to leave these to dry now overnight, and then we can move in the morning. Yeah, so then we can start doing the cab. So the cab is in fairly good condition. It just needs a couple of little more repairs done on it. But yeah, but look how the lights come out. So that's the lights that we painted on the back. So yeah, they come out perfect. So we're starting to get ready to load up to go to the UK Monster Truck Nationals now. I do this every time. So before we load a monster truck up, I just go around the trailer and have a quick check through. On that long run back from Scotland, it looks like we actually damaged one of the tyres. So one of the tyres, I've never seen it before. I've not curbed it or not anything. It is actually in the tread, but bits of the tread were starting to come off. So I've taken the wheel off now, just gone through all the bearings and that was all good. But yeah, it's just a tyre, so the tyre must have something going wrong inside it. So what I've done, because it's only on the one tyre, but it's a twin axle tyre, so you got there's actually two wheels, one there and one behind it. Now, because the tyres have worn down a little bit, I didn't want to stick a brand new tyre and leave an old one on the inside, mainly because the one on the inside would be a lot lower. So what would happen is it'd actually overheat the outside tyre. So I've had to put two new tyres on there. So they're away at my friends at County Tyres, who look after my tyres on my lorry, and they also do the big tyres on the monster truck. So yeah, so they came down this morning. They was here at 7:30 in the morning to pick the tyres up, and so they're going to take them up to their workshop, and then they're going to drop them, fit them back later. So thank you, County Tyres. Okay, so we're probably on to the worst bit about running a monster truck. It's unloading and loading all the tyres all the time. Now, I do this on my own at the workshop. Worked it out, last year it was 2 days just moving tyres around. That's putting them on the truck, taking them off, moving them in and out the workshop all the time, because I haven't got enough room to store the tyres. So when I have to get the monster truck out, I have to take all the tyres out and then drive the monster truck out, park it in the workshop, and then load all the tyres back in again, and then reverse the trailer back into the workshop, because I haven't actually got any more extra room to keep the tyres in the workshop. So this is one I've just taken out. So you can probably see at the back now, I've got tyres stacked up there already. There's tyres in the bit where we do the fiberglassing and spraying in there. And of course, then I've got these ones that I carry around, and I've got a few extra ones outside because I actually haven't got any room to keep them inside. So yeah, so we're just about to take the last lot of tyres out, and then we can load Swamp Thing up so we can go off to the UK Monster Truck Nationals. Okay, so County Tyres have been down, done the wheels. So yeah, they're going to be good for another few thousand miles. Thank you, County Tyres. So we're all loaded up, all ready to go to the UK Monster Truck Nationals. Now, we didn't get to paint in the cab this week. Something else came up. So a lot of you might know that I do stunts for other things as well, not just in monster trucks. And I was helping one of my friends who does stunts do some rehearsal this week. I can't really talk too much about it because it's still in its very early stages. But I can show you this little clip, which is pretty cool. I can't even tell you what's going into that, but yeah, so it's a vehicle, put it that way. So yeah, but it's not a monster truck. That's not big enough for a monster truck. But yeah, so that's going to be coming soon, but it's still in the really early stages at the moment. So yeah, so that's it for this week. Hope to see you on Sunday at the UK Monster Truck Nationals. Now, if you haven't got a ticket, you have to get it before you arrive. It always sells out, so make sure you've got a ticket before you turn up. There will be no tickets on the gates. So I hope to see you there because we have a great time there. It's one of my favourite shows of the year, and I get to meet so many of you there. So if you're there, come and say hi to me in the pit party, and of course I'll put up the highlight video for that show coming up soon. But until next time, bye bye.